After her baby daughter was lost in a shipwreck 14 years ago, Mrs. Patricia Gregory started searching the world over in the hope that her little girl might still be alive. Now Mrs. Gregory is again in the South Seas, and with her on her private yacht are Captain Tex Bradford and Jerry Hall. Jerry was a young radio operator in Los Angeles who received the first mysterious message about an old sailor having seen the Magic Island and a little white girl on it. The yacht is lying now completely becalmed near a strange bank of fog.
I tell you, you've got to believe me. You've got to believe me.
Don't get so excited, Jerry. We can hear you without your shouting like that.
Yes, take it easy, kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. But this is something to get excited about. You know that fog bank over there is not fog, don't you, Captain Bradford?
Well, it doesn't act like any fog I ever saw, Jerry, but what else could it be?
But, Mrs. Gregory, you still think it's fog, don't you?
What else can I think?
Well, you can think about the story that the old sailor told and the Magic Island. That fog, well, or whatever it is out there, is just where the old man said we'd find the island, isn't it?
Right to the inch, boy.
And this yacht was up against it, in it. But we didn't get wet or cold from it. Fog is wet, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, of course.
And Captain Bradford's fog machine has always made a hole through every other fog he tried it on, hasn't it, Tex?
I've never found another fog that machine wouldn't penetrate to a point of fair visibility.
Then that stuff over there is not fog. It isn't wet, and your machine didn't even start to go through it. It looks just like a wall made of gray stone or cement.
Tex, you're not really convinced about this, are you?
I've lived a long time without seeing anything that looked like magic, as Jerry likes to call it, but I've never seen anything like this.
Well, I don't know whether it's magic or not, but it's sure funny. And there's another mighty funny thing about this whole business.
What else?
This ocean is too smooth right around the edge of that fog. Look farther away on the sides and behind us. The water is rough enough, but here, right here near that fog bank, the water is as smooth as glass. The boat isn't even rolling.
I noticed that, Jerry, and I don't like it.
Then there is something mysterious about this place. And if the island... Oh, if the island could only be here, and my little Joan alive and well on it.
Well, I don't know about the island, but I do know we ought to find out more about that fog stuff. Why not try sailing around it? Maybe we can see something from the other side.
Well, we did. What's the use? You couldn't see anything?
Tex, you've seen something you're keeping from Jerry and me. You do know something about that fog bank.
Do you, Captain Bradford? Do you?
Well, I didn't want to tell you. It doesn't help matters a bit. There's no use of all of us worrying about the impossible. But I do know a little more about that fog bank than you two.
Don't treat me as if I were a child. What is it, Tex?
Oh, we're stuck so bad now that a little more won't scare me any worse. What did you find out, Captain?
Well, you and Mrs. Gregory remember that you spent a long time working over that chart while I was on deck?
Yes.
I mean, before I called you to come and look at the fog?
Why, we were talking about Joan and the Magic Island and all. I guess we did talk a long time.
What were you doing, Tex?
Well, I was on the bridge, and the skipper will tell you this is the truth.
Yes?
Go on. Go on.
Well, we have sailed around that fog bank.
We've sailed around it?
Gee, well, what was on the other side?
A fog bank.
Oh. Then it is just fog.
Wait, Mrs. Gregory. Go on, Captain. There's more, isn't there?
There's a whole lot more. From the circumference of the circle we described in rounding this thing, it must be about half a mile around it. Possibly a little more. And it's perfectly round.
That doesn't tell us much.
I want to hear it all, Tex.
No, I don't want to get you all worked up over it. May not mean a thing. But our instruments read exactly the same on all four sides of that fog.
What?
You mean they didn't change at all as you went around?
That's it. And from our solar readings and my radio beam check, that reading is correct. Correct to a fraction of a second, but...
But what?
Hurry. Hurry and tell us, or I'm going to pass out.
The readings we took all around this thing belong in the center of it. Everything reads to a perfect center when you're sailing around the edge of that fog.
Then a regular vessel, I mean one that just sailing through here on a regular run, would skirt around that fog without knowing they'd run off their course.
I guess they would. We found nothing to indicate our course had been changed. And if we weren't looking for trouble, we would have figured the same as any other navigator. that we were just passing a small fog bank and not being compelled to follow a distorted curve around it.
Then that means just one thing. There is something behind or in that fog. Something. And that something is...
I'll bet it's the Magic Island. Oh, golly whiskers. We're here. We found it. Gee, Mrs. Gregory. Now we'll get your little girl back.
Not so fast, son. Even if there is an island there, what can we do about it? The yacht won't go through the fog. We tried that.
Then let's figure why it won't go through it.
That's out of the question, isn't it?
Nothing is out of the question with Tex and I to figure things out.
Well, just leave me out of that, Jerry. You figure this yourself. I'm stuck.
Well, if we can't sail through it, there's something funny about it. And something funny about a fog means it's being done on purpose.
Jerry, you mean it isn't just a natural phenomenon? That the fog is man-made, controlled?
How about those instruments, Captain? And the fog holding the boat just like a magnet. That's it. Magnet. Oh, giggling goldfish. Why didn't I think of that before? That fog is magnetized.
That's my idea, boy, but I hated to make such a wild statement.
Well, that sounds possible. There are a great many magnetic deposits and formations in many parts of the world.
But don't you see, Mrs. Gregory? We don't mean a magnetic field that just happened there. That fog has been magnetized by somebody or something.
Do you think that's possible? You're not just excited and running away with yourself, Jerry.
Well, if he is, I'm running way ahead of him. Patricia, that fog bank is not ordinary fog. It's magnetized as surely as we're standing on this yacht looking at it. And there's probably an island hidden in it.
Well, but Tex...
And that's not guesswork. It's a scientific probability.
What else would have held our boat against that fog but a powerful magnetic force of some kind? And what else but a magnet? And a magnet with somebody running it would have turned the boat loose when it got ready.
Why, it's thrilling. But it's terrible, too. What can it mean?
It can mean we're up against the greatest piece of electrical or chemical wizardry this generation has seen. And we're going to see all of it.
Where do we start, Tex?
Start guessing, and as if you've done pretty well so far, Jerry. Suppose you take the first guess.
Well, isn't it better to do something you're sure of than it is to guess?
What can anyone be sure of in these weird circumstances?
Got something definite in mind, son?
Well, we can see what's inside that fog ring. If the little plane lashed to the deck, we'll fly over it.
Of course. Why didn't you think of that, Tex?
I did, but it'll take an hour to assemble the wing spread, lower to the water, and get ready for a takeoff. By that time, it'll be pretty dark. I don't like to try getting the plane back on board at night, except in an emergency.
Golly whiskers. Here you've got a magnetized bank of artificial fog right under your nose, and a magic island, and a... Well, how much do you need to make it an emergency?
Well, I meant a matter of life and death. That island, if it is inside the fog, has been there a lot of years, and it won't run away tonight.
Then we can't do anything until morning?
Oh, I guess not. Say, I've got it. I'll swim ashore. That's it.
You'll do everything else, boy.
You can't do that, Jerry.
I'll bet I can. And I bet I'll get through that fog, too. I won't wear anything that a magnet will hang on to.
And after you get through the fog, what then?
What do you mean? What then?
Mrs. Gregory and I are outside with the yacht. And if anything should happen to you, we couldn't get in there.
Why not try shooting through the fog?
No, you might hit... Of course, I mean, if this really is the island we're looking for, Joan might be hurt.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I guess we'll have to wait till morning.
I've got one small idea. Let's see. Skipper!
Aye.
Will you step up forward here, please?
Aye.
Now, Jerry, I want you to go into our cabin. Get that long black case, the one that looks like a violin case, out of the instrument locker. Bring it here and handle it as if it were eggs.
Right away, sir. I'll get it.
Sir?
Skipper, the swell is rolling heavier now. We can't use the motors to hold our position, as I need all the power in this cable here. Will you try for a good anchorage so I can cut all the juice away from the engine room?
Sounded.
Well,
3
fathoms?
Aye.
Can I help, Tex? I'm so nervous, but for once I seem to be helpless. I'm sorry I've always been able to think with you before, but no, I
understand, darling.
Tex,
I didn't say anything.
I know you didn't, but I'm glad you said it.
Oh, I suppose I shouldn't have.
You shouldn't, and I've been waiting years to hear it.
Patricia,
Here's the case, Captain Bratt. Oh, golly whiskers. I guess you forgot the case, didn't you? I'll go back and bring it in again if you want me to.
No, Jerry, you just rescued me in time.
You don't yell for help very loud, do you?
Now, Jerry, come on. Let's hook up the machine. Break that cable. Bring the shielded lead plug over here while I open the case.
Are we going to anchor here for the night? The skipper's paying out the stern chain.
Yes. Tex thinks we'd better not move till morning, and the skipper reports sounding's okay for a good anchorage.
Can I help with the machine?
Not yet, Jerry. I'm a little afraid to have anyone but myself handle it until it's set up.
It's sure a funny-looking thingamabob. What is it?
I never saw this before either, Tex. Is that what you've been working on so secretly in the laboratory?
I've done nothing else for over a year, and it's perfect.
What is it?
Well, I haven't named it officially yet, but I think I'll call it my stratoscope.
Stratoscope?
Well, what does that mean?
Well, it's a combination of strata and scope, as from stratosphere and periscope. In other words, it will do through the air and at tremendous altitudes and distances what the periscope will do within a very limited range.
I think it sounds lovely, Tex, but what will it do?
Left you behind that time, eh, Pat? How about you, son?
I think I know what you mean. You can look away up in the air, then away over someplace, then down again, like seeing over the horizon. Isn't that it?
That's it exactly, Jerry, and I know it works. I've tried it over a 300-foot building when I was on the ground on one side and the objective was on the ground on the other side, and I saw it.
And now you're going to look over that fog and down onto the island.
Oh, can we? Really?
I'm getting excited now. You see, it's a case of plotting the trajectory of the wave curve I'm sending out, figuring the density of the exact strata in the atmosphere I must refract the wave from to bring it down to Earth on the desired spot.
But how do you see anything with a wave?
These waves will return to me with almost as great an intensity as they leave the instrument with. Then I merely catch them in a tuned wave trap. And with a light valve and converter, I project the image on this little ground glass screen here and... Pat! Jerry, I've got it! I can see it!
Is it the island?
Is it, Tex? What do you see?
It is growing dark. The magnificent yacht of Mrs. Patricia Gregory rides at anchor just off a mysterious bank of fog in the South Seas. On board the yacht, Mrs. Gregory, her business manager Tex Bradford, and their young companion Jerry Hall are eagerly trying an experiment. Bradford has just set up a unique piece of mechanism through which he can see over the horizon or over a building and down into the street on the other side of it. Now the machine is focused on the strange fog bank, and behind this bank lies what? Will this prove to be the magic island?
What do you see, Tex?
Hold on, son. Don't get excited now. I think we've got something here.
Oh, please, Tex, may I look?
Why, of course, Pat. Go to it. You'll be next, Jerry.
I'm almost afraid to look. 14 years is a long time to look for something. We're almost afraid to find it then.
Go on, Mrs. Gregory. You'll never get Captain Bradford to tell us what he saw through that thing. Take a look for yourself. Gee whiz, if Joan is there, after you hunting for her for 14 years, you ought to be the first one to see her.
You're a gallant lad, Jerry. Oh, Tex, what did you see?
Nothing doing, Pat. Here, you look. I just got the range for you. But hurry now, it's nearly dark.
All right. Do I put my eye here?
That's it. Steady does it, Pat. Now work that sextant just a hair's breadth if you want to.
Right.
Do you see anything, Mrs. Gregory?
Hush, kid.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think I see a group of people. They aren't very clear yet. No, that's better. The whole island shines, as if it were polished stone or some kind of metal. Now I see the group more clearly.
Yeah? What else?
Jerry.
Yeah, I know, but...
Oh, Tex. Jerry,
Well, she's fainted, kid. Run and get a glass of water out of my cabin. Hurry.
Yes, sir.
Pat, you're all right, Pat. Just take it easy for a minute. Jerry's getting you a glass of water. Pat. There, that's better, Pat. Where's that water, Jerry?
I'm coming.
Oh, what? Tex. Tex, I saw...
Is she all right now? Is she all right?
She'll be all right in a jiffy. Hand me that glass of water.
Here.
Where's the water?
Huh?
Where's the water?
Oh, golly. I drank it myself. I'll get some more.
It's a good thing you didn't need that water.
I'm all right. Silly of me to do that, wasn't it?
Nothing you could ever do would be silly to me, Pat, but just what got you so quick? You saw something?
Tex, I saw that group of people. They're real, and they're on an island all right, and... Oh, it's almost too much to believe, but I thought I saw a young girl with them.
I thought I saw the same. And for your sake, I hope we're both right.
Here's the glass with the water in it.
Thanks, Jerry. Now I feel better. That's the first time I ever felt like fainting.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I would have fainted if I hadn't used the first glass of water on myself. I could tell what you saw from the way you acted. May I look now?
Help yourself, son.
Boy, what a thrill this is. Now, let's see. Oh, looks kind of cloudy at first. There. There now. I can see better. This focus is easy enough. I got it. Gee, there's people there. People on the island right inside the fog. Whole bunches of them. But they're all men. Oh, no, they ain't. Hey, there's a girl with them. A girl, Mrs. Gregory.
Yes, Jerry, I saw that too, but don't hope too much.
Hope? Nothing. That's your little girl. I know it is. That's Joan. She looks just like you do.
Now, Jerry, I made that machine, and I happen to know you can't distinguish features at that distance.
I don't care about her features. I'm talking about what she looks like.
You better let me take another look, Jerry. It's getting dark. It's pitch black in 15 minutes. We won't get any twilight. Better learn what I can about our situation before we hole up for the night. All right now, Pat?
Quite all right.
I'll steady you up, Mrs. Gregory. You just hang on to my hand. I'm not nervous anymore.
Thank you, Jerry.
What do you see, Captain?
There's a group of people on the island, all right, and... Well, now, there's a funny one. They seem to be pointing something at us.
Bet they're going to shoot. Let's duck.
Oh.
No, it looks more like a telescope. It is something like that, and they know how to look through that fog. They see us all right. Some of them are waving their arms and pointing at us.
Well, we sure couldn't see anything through the fog. Good thing you had this machine for reflecting your rays against the air over the island and looking down on it.
From the way they're acting, it's obvious they see us and see us plainly.
Is there any danger, Tex?
I think not. At least not so long as we just ride at anchor. Here, say something's happening.
What are they doing now?
They are not doing anything. At least not anything I can see, but the fog is. I've got it. They figured out that I'm watching them by means of rays refracted over the top of that fog. So they're closing it over the top.
Closing what over?
The island. All of it. You were right, Jerry. That fog is artificially made and perfectly controlled. Now they're covering up overhead with it. I can hardly see. That's all for now. They put a perfect roof of fog over that whole island, and it didn't take them more than 30 seconds to do it.
Then they did know we were watching them. Sure enough.
What do you think we ought to do now, Tex?
Nothing. Just nothing. It's nearly dark. There's no reason to fear anything, and they can't watch us any longer.
I'm getting a little chilly. Probably just nerves. It's anything but cold this evening.
Yeah, we'll go in the radio room and sit down and talk this thing over quietly. Oh, you're doing splendidly, Pat. I know what a strain you must be under.
This would be a strain for anybody. I'll go ahead and open the door.
I'll leave this stratoscope right here for the time. You take that easy chair, Pat.
All right.
Jerry, warm up the radio.
Oh, boy. Do I get to use it?
Go ahead, son. Let me know when it's warm, and I'll give you the message.
Now, Tex, tell me honestly. Do you think there's a chance that my little girl is on that island?
After what we've seen in the last 6 hours, there's a chance for anything. I've never had any hope that you would find little Joan. Everyone agreed that she must have drowned in that shipwreck. And 14 years is a long time without news of her.
But now, Tex, now, don't you see that there's some reason that may make those 14 years of silence possible? That island is weird. It's mysterious. It's almost what the old sailor said it was, a magic island.
Agreed. And for the first time, I'm willing to admit there is a chance. A mighty good chance that the little girl on the island could be Joan.
How can we find out, and how soon?
We'll have to take our time. For one thing, we don't know what that island represents. Nothing in the ordinary or usual run of islands, that's sure. With all their fog machines or whatever they use to hide the island with, and their magnetized circle to keep boats off, it might mean a lot of things. And they're most likely all bad.
I've got the set ready, Captain. What's the call?
Call Johnson at J12C as you did before. Sign your name in the yacht call, J24Y.
Okay. J12C, J12C, Jerry Hall on J24Y to J12C. Hello, J12. Hello, J12.
Now hold it, Jerry. He's got an automatic recording pickup there. And even if he's out of the room, he'll get a sustained curve on his frequency disturbance graph when he checks it.
You're the most mysterious folks I ever saw. You've got yachts as big as battleships, private radio stations on wavelengths nobody ever heard of, and call letters like a kid's club. What's it all about?
You promised not to ask that again till we were ready to tell you, Jerry.
I'm sorry. But you'll be sorry if I die of curiosity.
Nobody ever died of it yet.
Well, I don't feel any too good.
Hello, J24Y. Hello, J12C, Johnson. Go ahead, J24.
Here he is. What'll I tell him?
Give him our position. Make the story about the island brief. Ask him stand by. If we do not report all clear by tomorrow noon, he has to ask D.C. to rush full protection. Story is for publication. He can use own judgment. Shoot it, kid.
Right. Hello, J12C. Jerry Hall for Captain Bradford on J24Y. Are you ready?
Go ahead, Hall. Go ahead.
Located island, surrounded by fog camouflage. Standing by for daylight to try landing. Boat held off this evening by magnetic ring in ocean, probably 100 yards offshore. Our position is latitude 29.
Hurry.
What's the matter, Skipper?
Danger.
What kind of danger?
Drifting.
Drifting? Well, what's the matter with your anchors?
Dragging.
Dragging the anchors? I don't hear any wind. What's going on?
Hurry.
Do I keep sending?
Stay right in there, son, no matter what happens. Stay with that radio and report in full to J12. Come on, Pat, we'll look around.
Are you still there, J12C? Hello, J12.
What happened? I can hear you very faintly, J24. Go ahead, Hall.
The boat is drifting. Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory have gone on deck with the skipper. No wind, calm sea, anchored in 3 fathoms, but drifting, dragging the anchors, no reason for it. Stand by for emergency flash. Got that? Hey, the lights are going out. Something's wrong.
Your signal is fading, J24. Standing by for emergency call. Are you getting me, J24? Hello, Hall. J12C to J24. Why, can you?
Oh, the set's gone dead, and the lights are all out. The same thing that happened before. I'd better get up on deck. Oh! Golly whiskers. That chair hurt my shins. Where's the handle on this door? Ah, there it is. Oh, boy. Hey, Tex, where are you?
Come up forward, Jerry.
Where are you? I can't see a thing.
Right here, you nearly bumped into us. Your juice quit on you, didn't it?
Yeah. Same thing we had today?
The skipper's working with the crew to get out a spare anchor over the stern, but we're already dragging 2 of them.
Well, if it wasn't so dark, we might see what's happening.
All we can see is a funny gray color, and you can't see much of that.
Tex, Jerry, I think I can smell something unusual.
Huh? You're right. I smell a gas or a chemical of some kind.
I know why the sky's all gray, and I know what the smell is, too.
The fog. Is that it?
That's it. And we're drifting into that island.
We're going through the fog, Tex.
I know it. Look there. Dead ahead. See that faint glow?
It's a little lighter up there, and the fog isn't quite so thick. That fog is some kind of gas, by the smell.
Doesn't seem to affect us any, though.
We're drifting faster, aren't we? That glow of light is rapidly getting nearer.
I hope we don't smash into something before we get on the beach, or grab a pier, or a dock of some kind.
Why should we drift to the island? We tried for 2 hours to get through this fog with full speed ahead, and we couldn't move. Now we're drifting through it.
You don't drift and drag 2 anchors in 3 fathoms of still water, with no wind and no tide.
We're not drifting?
I'll say we're not drifting. That magnetism is working again, only stronger this time. We're being pulled. This boat is being dragged